In this part of the lesson, we will talk about proving a quadrilateral is a rhombus. So keep in mind a rhombus is a parallelogram. So first of all, I need to prove it a parallelogram first. If it's given to me as a parallelogram, then half of the work is done. Now, what are the key properties of a rhombus? There are three additional properties. Knowing that a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then there are three additional properties that are unique to a rhombus and not a parallelogram. Number one is that all sides are congruent. So in a rhombus, all sides are congruent. Number two, diagonals are perpendicular. So if I draw the diagonals, they will form a 90-degree angle. Now remember that I know that diagonals bisect each other because it's a parallelogram, but I don't know that the diagonals are congruent. This is not a rectangle. And number three is that diagonals bisect opposite. Diagonals bisect opposite angles. Which means that this angle is equal to this, equal to this, equal to this. And this angle is equal to this, equal to this, equal to this. So it's good to color code them so you know which angles are going to be congruent to what. Okay, so in number one and two, these are given to me as a rhombus. So then they are asking me to find x, knowing that this is a rhombus. So keep in mind that in a rhombus, diagonals are perpendicular. So then I know that this is pointing towards this angle. It's a degree in degrees. So 20x minus 10 is equal to 90. Add 10 to both sides. So 20x is equal to 100. Then if you divide by 20, you will get that x is equal to 5. That's for number one. Now for number two, I know in a rhombus, all sides are congruent, so the consecutive sides are going to be congruent. So to find x, I can set these two sides congruent. So remember, they are pointing towards the sides. This is not a degree. I can know that because there's no degree symbol. Now what I can do is subtract 3x from both sides. So I get that 1 is equal to 7x minus 6. Then I add 6 to both sides. So I get that 7 is equal to 7x. Divide both sides by 7. So I get that x is equal to 1. So knowing that these two quadrilaterals are rhombuses, I was able to solve for x. So in number 3, if I know that the quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram, so let me sketch it. It's always better to sketch because you can see it in front of you. So I know that ABCD is a parallelogram. Okay. Now, you know what? I should sketch it more like a rhombus because I know that this lesson is all about the rhombus. So I'm going to sketch one where it looks more like a diamond on the sides. Okay, there you go. So ABCD, where all sides look congruent. Now AB is x plus 4. DC is 3x minus 36. And BC is 2x minus 16. Now solve for x and find the length of sides AB, BC, and DC. AB, BC, and DC. So this is given to me as a parallelogram. So I don't know that all sides are congruent, but I know that opposite sides are congruent. So AB is equal to DC. Knowing that this is a parallelogram helps me set opposite sides congruent. So x plus 4 is equal to 3x minus 36. I can then set up this equation to help me solve for x. So if I want to solve for x, I'm going to subtract x from both sides. And I'm going to add 36 to both sides. So I'm going to do that in one step. This cancels. So that's 40 is equal to 2x. then if you divide by 2, you will get that x is equal to 20. So knowing that this is a parallelogram, I set up opposite sides congruent. So I set up an equation to help me solve for x. Now I need to plug it in to find AB, BC, and DC. So let's go ahead and do that. So AB is x plus 4, so that's 24, because 20 plus 4 is 24. BC is 2 times 20, which is 40. 40 minus 16 will also give me 24. And DC is 3x minus 36, so 3 times 20 is a 60. 60 minus 36 is also a 24. So what type of parallelogram is this quadrilateral ABCD? It's a special kind of parallelogram because the consecutive sides are also congruent. So AB is equal to BC is equal to CD. That means that all the sides are going to be congruent. So in this case, this is a rhombus. So I don't have to prove that all sides are congruent. It's enough for me to prove that consecutive sides are congruent for me to prove that a parallelogram is a rhombus. So I can say it's a rhombus because consecutive sides are congruent. Consecutive sides are congruent. So that was enough because I already know that it's a parallelogram. So if I know it's a parallelogram, it's enough for me to prove that consecutive sides are congruent. That's one way. So let's move on to number 4. The vertices of quadrilateral QUAD are Q, negative 3, 3. So let's go ahead and plot that. And so that's Q. U is 2, 10. So that's U. And A is 7, 3. So that's A. And D is 2, negative 4. So that's D. So I'm going to connect them. So they only told me that this is a quadrilateral. They didn't tell me it's a parallelogram. So prove that this quadrilateral is a parallelogram by verifying that both pairs of opposite sides are parallel. So remember, I know that this is a quadrilateral. So for me to prove that opposite sides are parallel, I need to show that the slopes are equal. So remember, if opposite sides are parallel, that means that the slopes of the opposite sides are equal. So I'm going to start by finding the slope of QU and the slope of DA. So rise over run. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 7 over 5. And this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's also 7 over 5. Now, slopes are equal, which means that QU is parallel to DA. Okay? So let's move on and find the slope of AU and the slope of DQ. Okay, so I'm going to count from A to U and then from D to Q. But let me erase this so then things can look better. Okay. Now DA, so I mean AU. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going up 7 to the left 5. So that's a negative slope. So negative 7 over 5. Now, what about DQ? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 7 over negative 5. So it's negative 7 over 5 as well. So the slopes are equal, which means that AU is parallel to DQ. So because opposite sides are parallel, then I can say that QUAD, so QUAD is a parallelogram because opposite sides are parallel. So you can always use rise over run to find the slopes, and I found the slopes of the opposite sides and they ended up to be equal, so that means that opposite sides are parallel. Now I need to verify that this is a rhombus by proving that the diagonals are perpendicular. So whenever I have a coordinate proof like this, it's always the easiest. The easiest method is to use slopes because I can just count rise over run. So let's connect the two diagonals. And by proving that this is a parallelogram, it's enough to prove that the diagonals are perpendicular. So I'm going to start by finding the slope of du. And then I'm going to find the slope of AQ. And remember, if there are opposite reciprocals, it means that the diagonals are perpendicular. So that means that this is a rhombus. So let's do, so I can tell that du is a vertical line. So the slope of a vertical line is undefined. And AQ is a horizontal line, so the slope is 0. Now remember, every time you have a vertical and a horizontal line, then they are bound to create a 90-degree angle between them. So that means that DU is perpendicular to AQ, and that means then QUAD is a rhombus because diagonals are perpendicular. So let's move on to number 5. Can a rectangle ever be classified as a rhombus? Yeah, if I have a rectangle and the rectangle has diagonals that are perpendicular, or maybe maybe consecutive sides are congruent, then yes. So sometimes, yeah, if I have a rectangle and I can show that either the consecutive sides are congruent, or I can show that diagonals are perpendicular, then yes, it would be a rhombus. So yeah, sometimes it's possible if one of these is present. So remember, if I want to prove a parallelogram, a rhombus, it is enough to either prove the diagonals are perpendicular or consecutive sides are congruent.